When I found out that survival of the fittest is not about being most fit, but being most adaptable, like survival of the fitting into the constantly evolving society you belong to, game changer. And it's not about fitting in, like assimilating, smoothing out your edges. It's about literally being adaptable, being able to adjust how you move through the world in order to live in cooperation with the people around you, because the most successful species is the most cooperative species. And this ties into what I've been learning about solidarity versus loyalty. Loyalty implies, an unswerving allegiance. I think that's like a literal definition I just read. And that's not what I'm talking about, because if your allegiance is unswerving, that means you're not criticizing the people or person that you are allied to, giving your allegiance to. However that sentence should be sentenced. Because a society does not evolve and grow without criticism, feedback, and learning from mistakes. So thoughtless loyalty, I will follow you no matter what, is deeply insidious and harmful ultimately, because it doesn't hold people accountable, for example, when they cause harm. Solidarity, however, is about understanding that you are not going to align with everybody. You are not going to get along with everybody, but everybody is in this situation with you. A community only works if everyone in it is goaled toward the same thing: collective survival. Protect each other, support each other, take care of each other. That's the point of the community, to strengthen us. Two heads is better than one. A village of people working in tandem to get everyone's needs met and to keep everyone safe means that everyone is more likely to get their needs met and be safe. It's not survival of the assimilators. It's the survival of the people who work toward the common goal of community, despite the frictions that community inevitably comes with. You are not going to like everyone, and everyone is not going to like you. Not everyone is not going to like you. Some people will like you. But at the end of the day, likability shouldn't be in the picture at all. You shouldn't have to be likable in order to get your basic needs met, just like you shouldn't have to earn your basic needs and so forth. You're alive and you have needs to continue to be alive. So you deserve to have access to the things that fulfill those needs and keep you alive. A flower needs soil, water, sunlight to grow. We don't make it earn those things, or we shouldn't. Humans are no different, except for the fact that you identify as one. And we've constructed these societies that make us think that we should only take care of ourselves. We should only take care of ours, whoever we've decided to be loyal to, for example. And at the end of the day, loyalty results in disloyalty. If you pledge your allegiance to someone, to a personality, to an individual, the moment that individual fails you, your loyalty fails. And neither one of you are benefiting from that connection. But if you're in solidarity with everyone, if you're in community with everyone, if you adapt yourself to understand that making sure that even the people you don't like or agree with are getting food and water and shelter and medicine, then you are fitting into a society that will work. Committing to the community as a whole rather than individuals. It's like a Kevlar vest versus a tightrope. You have to be very, very skilled and lucky to survive walking a tightrope. A tightrope is a single strand or series of strands in a really narrow composition that provides danger first. A Kevlar vest is a series of stitches tightly woven together with the intention of providing protection first. It's kind of like the difference of knowing you can swim and jumping into an unknown body of water without checking to see how deep it is, versus jumping into a safety net that you know is secure because other people have jumped before you. And you've worked together with the people around you to make sure it's secure, to work out any of the faults that might put people at risk, that might not offer a safe catch. If we don't work together despite our differences to get everyone's needs met, then anyone can be excluded from getting their needs met based on their difference. And it's a slippery slope. The horizon recedes as you approach it. You may not be the most vulnerable right now. You may not even consider yourself vulnerable, even though you are right now. You are tightening up and shutting up and conforming to the expectation that things are as they should be, rather than stepping back and looking around and acknowledging that things are bad for a lot of people. And that as they continue to get worse, historically, logically, they will get worse for you too. This shouldn't be your motivation, but why isn't it? The most successful species is the most cooperative species. Don't you want your species to be successful? You're included in that. You are included in the collective, in the community. If we have systems of support for the most vulnerable in our communities, we have systems of support for everyone. If there's a giant safety net that we've all worked together to secure, then anybody who jumps, is pushed, or falls gets caught in the net. And ideally, we have a series of safety nets so that people get caught right before rock bottom. Rock bottom. It doesn't matter what the metaphor is. The point is, working together is the way we survive. And adapting to necessary change, being adaptable to situations, is the way you survive. Because change is inevitable and necessary. Again, we don't learn and grow without change. We don't become better. We don't get better. We don't improve without things changing. And if you can work within the changes, if you can work with the changes, if you can embrace them, in addition to embracing a variety of people, just every demographic you can imagine, we're talking about human beings. We are talking about the global population. If you can and do work with a lot of different people, and you're open to the fact that things must change, you're doing survival of the fittest, buddy. And I'm proud of you. Sometimes a video essay is just some rambles until I feel like I've found a conclusion or I run out of time and energy. A little bit of all three has happened today. But I hope that I said some things that got you thinking, and I would love to continue the conversation. So if you have thoughts, please share them. I'm learning and growing every day, and I feel like one of my motivations right now, one of my goals, is to learn and grow every day as I can. And part of the way to ensure that that happens is to have conversations with people, get different perspectives, work on honing my ideas and beliefs, get better at understanding and articulating them. Maybe figure out some solutions to some of the problems. There are so many problems. I love learning. It's kind of a microcosm of the survival of the fittest thing that I was talking about, because the idea is you have to be adaptable. You have to accept that you don't know everything, that there are in fact a lot of things you don't know, and that there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with needing to change, with needing to grow, with making mistakes, with not knowing everything. What's wrong is pretending you know stuff when you don't, or acting out of ignorance, especially willfully, because that's where harm comes into play. Being able to adapt yourself to new concepts and ideas, new perspectives, different perspectives, means you're doing survival of the fittest. You are adapting, you are growing, you are changing. You are able to work with different people and evolve with the world and the community around you, which means you aren't rigid. If you're able to move with the flow of things, and I'm not saying become the water if you're not water. I'm saying you're a leaf that fell off a tree into the river. You honestly have no power to get out of that river. It's going to take external forces to get you out of that river. Resisting the flow is just going to cause you to be uncomfortable. Trying to go backwards is just going to be an uphill, upstream battle. And you're a leaf, dude. Where the river runs is where you're supposed to go, because it's where you're at right now. This isn't my best metaphor, but you never know what's at the end of the river. You never know what's coming next. I don't like the concept that everything happens for a reason, because it's used a lot of times to explain away cruelty and suffering. But you fell off the tree. You're in the river now. It's to your benefit to see how things go and to not fight against the flow. And again, I'm not telling you to conform to things that you don't align with, that harm other people, just because everyone around you is doing it, whatever. I'm telling you to find your center, find your beliefs, ground yourself in them, be aligned with yourself. When that happens, you are a leaf that falls in a river, and the river flows, and you go to whatever's next. If you are not aligned with yourself, you're not grounded in what you believe and who you are, then wherever the flow takes you is going to feel wrong. You're going to be fighting yourself and the forces around you, tearing yourself apart, making yourself miserable, trying to get back to what was, which is impossible. Even if you got back to the tree you fell off of, the only way to get back onto the tree is unnatural means. Glue or tape. You can't grow back onto that tree. Falling off the tree was part of the cycle. By the time you get back, there's probably going to be a new leaf in your place. The metaphor turned out a little better than I expected. It's easier not to be afraid of the flow of things when you know who you are, know what you believe, and are grounded in it. If what you believe and who you are is rooted in negating harm, building a successful community, which means survival and maybe even thriving for you and the people you care about, and wherever the flow takes you, you are going to be okay. Be the most colorful leaf you want to be. Be crinkly, be split in two, Be a branch instead of a leaf. Be an otter. Your ability to go where the flow is taking you while being yourself is what's going to guarantee your survival and the survival of the species.